Hey, what's up, world? This is Wife Marshall from the Stillfleet studio and also Why We Roll. Here with Chris Pickett from the Stillfleet studio and Why We Roll. And we're joined by
Hello.
three guests and friends, people we really respect and admire, for the first of what will be ultimately five one offs, five actual play sessions of the new game Danse Macabre medieval horror role playing by Christopher Pickett. Four of them will be streamed right here, and three of them will be at this time. So if you're around Sunday evenings, New York time, then you can mark your calendars for this whole spooky season. We'll have lots of spooky medieval action coming at you. I'll GM some games, Chris will GM some games, and we'll have a rotating cast. Thank you in advance to all our players, and thank you tonight to Mac, Zoe, and Leo Andrade. We are excited to get going, so I'm going to turn it over to Chris. But just as a quick plug, again, check us out here on Twitch or YouTube for more Danse Macabre actual play all fall long.
All right. Yeah. Thanks so much, wife. Let's just go ahead and jump in. Our players tonight, our pilgrims tonight, are traveling to Thessaloniki, west of Constantinople, by a couple of weeks. Let's see. Okay. So it is the early winter of 1390. Your caravan has been walking along the Via Egnatia, the ancient Roman road stretching east from Constantinople across the Balkan Peninsula, for 2 rain-drenched weeks now, as you slowly make your way to the despotate of Thessaloniki. The four of you, as pilgrims, have been mandated by the Canticum Aeternum to facilitate the transfer of a powerful relic known as the Crater of Dionysus from Thessaloniki back to Constantinople. The reason that this is important is because it is actually a part of a trade agreement between despot Manuel II Palaiologos, the current governor ruler of Thessaloniki, and his older brother, the pseudo-emperor Andronicus IV Palaiologos, the current emperor over half of Constantinople, the eastern half that's still ruled by the Byzantines. Negotiations will not be made final until the Crater is brought to Constantinople. As you've been traveling for the last 3 days, like I said, you've been drenched with rain. It's been kind of a miserable winter season here along the Aegean Sea. And for the last 3 days, as you've been walking, you've noticed a thick pillar of black smoke rising from the west, the direction that you've been marching. Yesterday, making camp on a hill just outside the city, you realize that the smoke's origin is the same as your destination. Thessaloniki is burning. And you now stand right at the gates of the city. Smoke is choking the air, kind of blinding you, burning your eyes a bit. But you stand before the Arch of Galerius, the eastern entry into the city, and you find that the gate has been left somewhat open, somewhat ajar. There are no guards. You don't hear any of the bustling of life from inside of this city. And the pillar of smoke that you spied from the road is coming from the dead center of town, right where the kind of large Roman agora is situated in the center of the city. So we have four pilgrims who are currently standing at the Arch of Galerius, looking into Thessaloniki. The rain's pelting them, smoke is choking them. But what I want to know is who are these four people? Who are these four pilgrims who have been conscripted and made to march all this way west? Maybe let's start with Wythe.
Sure. You see a large, shapely, uh, youngish, maybe 30-ish man. This is Vukan, the decapitator of Samakovo. He was a janissary who was drummed out of the palace guard for the Sultan for stealing lots of things. So he has been branded with, he is the brand from the ulema of a thief. And he is in fine spirits. He is smiling. He has a huge spear, a spetum, a sort of Byzantine style spear. It's very heavy. And he has a skull cap. He has a metal helmet, but he does not have armor. He probably has a decently fine set of clothes from being, relatively well off as an elite soldier. And you also notice a couple other things. He is He's covered in a thin layer of what looks like maybe not even ice, but hoarfrost, like just the beginnings of frost. Like he's cold all the time. His skin is incredibly cold to the touch, and also behind him is wagging a prehensile tail, sort of Monkey King style. That's not terribly long or strong looking. It's just kind of like hanging out, kind of like a cat's tail. Like you can't really figure out like why. So he seems to have died and come back with maleficia, with mutations, at least a couple of times in his job as a soldier and then a disgraced ex-soldier.
Very nice. Yeah, Vukan standing there in the rain, looking monkey-like, but also tough as hell. Zoe, why don't you tell us about your character?
Sure. So you see a fairly slim woman, red, bushy, curly hair. Definitely not from the area. Definitely from further east, west, further west. I know my directions.
One of those.
And let's see. She, at first glance, looks like a normal woman, if not for the spiraling horn coming out from her forehead
Ooh.
and broad goat eyes, kind of constantly, fairly nervously looking around. And she carries just a small mace, maybe a book or two, a journal, and she bears the mark of a murderer.
Ooh.
And should I get into why, or should I leave that?
Yeah. Why don't you could you tease us with why, if it's going to come up maybe later?
Sure. Yeah, you gather vaguely that she's gone down into false death a couple of times and finally took her revenge on the person that perhaps has done that.
Oh, very nice. Very creepy. And what is her name?
Yisold or Isold, whatever you like.
Isolde. Very nice. We have Vukan and Isolde. Mac, could you introduce us to your character?
Yes, you see an older gentleman in tattered friar's robes who contrives to look rather scruffy and disheveled, kind of no matter the circumstances. He has the brand of a heretic, and since we've been traveling together, you've probably picked up on why. He's not associated with any of the major heresies. He's just kind of a rabble-rouser with some weird ideas. His name is Johannes Karamidion. And he has a slug foot, several extra fingers, and a long forked tongue, which, according to the book, means that he should be speaking with a lisp. So I'm going to try and remember to do that.
That is true. Yeah. So for those watching or maybe listening later, most maleficia in the book, the kind of body horror mutations that we have in Danse Macabre, most of them come with a drawback. Some of them are purely narrative. Some of them are more mechanical. But yeah, for that long serpentine tongue, it definitely gives you kind of a pronounced lisp as air escapes between the two forks. All right, sweet. So that is Johannes and Leo. Who's your pilgrim?
My pilgrim is also clearly not from around these parts, a Westerner. He has one long curling ram's horn, should have another one, but it has been broken, presumably in a violent situation. He is in his late 20s, early 30s, has the bearing of a soldier, and on his left side, he has a second arm that is clearly developed and strong. He carries on him, currently all bundled up, and he has been cursing about it, a monstrosity of a yew longbow. And he's basically going, didn't get all the fucking way here from London to have to protect my bow from the rain. God fucking damn it. He's very annoyed. He thought he had quit the rain when he left England. Not so. The enormous bow can only be pulled because of the extra arm. And he has on him the mark of vagrancy, which he has made sure to tell everyone that no, I was not a vagrant. I was well employed by Lord Osbert's corps of three-armed archers. They slapped this on me because I'm left-handed. And he has very prominently, he wears it very proudly, an arrowhead that is very old, which he is convinced is the very same arrow that was used to slay King Edmund when he refused to denounce Christianity when that part of England was invaded. He is sure it is the one, and it is why he has managed to get all the way over here alive. It is lucky.
Yeah, he's got his good luck arrowhead. And
questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which left?
Huh?
Left-handed. You've got 3 arms. Which one's the?
Oh, interesting. Presumably, it was before he got the additional maleficium, but he has clearly put the 2 lefts to very good use. It is a monstrosity of a bow. A normal guy couldn't pull it, making the best of a bad situation.
Also, we have to consider what it might symbolize that the Lord has sent us 2 of these Normans all the way out here somehow.
Yes, it's very, very weird, huh?
Yeah,
Well, that
so
should be my husband's fault, wouldn't it?
I was going to say that begs the question. Yeah, Isolde, Edmund, how did you make your way to Constantinople from the Great North?
Shipwrecked near Burgundy, mercenary work after mercenary gig, getting reconscripted repeatedly until he ended up here because the last mercenary band, they all died. He was the only one who made it out again. And when telling this story, he's just going to be like absent-mindedly rubbing the spearhead. And importantly, this is the arrowhead. This is supposed to be the arrow that killed the king, with whom he shares a name, because his dad was also an archer, thought it would be really fucking funny.
That's pretty good. Yeah, Isolde, do you want to keep it a mystery, or do you want to say more about how you're...
I mean, I figure everyone's been traveling for a bit, so they probably already know the whole story.
Yeah, you've probably shared some tales.
Exactly. So in this case, and she'll tell it with very much glee, that her husband, my husband, dragged me all the way down from fucking Ireland, of all places. Good Ireland. All the way down out here to this fucking desert of a place. Because he was an expert, as he calls it, on demoniacs. And so he was hired out here and there and every other place. And so, well, I happened to pick up a few things on the road before I killed him.
When you first mentioned being from Ireland, my guy is surprised because Ireland is supposed to be lost lands. The fact that there are people coming out of there, extremely surprising.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, like supposed to be lost along with everything north of Oxford and also Cornwall.
There's a few of us left.
Impressive.
It's only in Ulster. Only in Ulster. Yeah,
Yeah, for real.
we haven't developed what Ireland would look like in the time of the abandonment. So it's actually, I mean, future projects. There's always more to do.
Everyone is Cuchulainn.
Yeah, every single person is Cuchulainn. They all pick up spears with their toes and throw them that way. There's no other way to do it in Ulster.
The abandonment does produce effects that are very much like the torque, so that makes sense.
It's true. It's very true. Fantastic. Well, we've met our pilgrims. I think before we truly jump in, I'm going to have everybody roll insight for me. We're going to see, this will be an insight/recall check, just to see if you picked up any rumors, any interesting tidbits of information about your current pilgrimage before leaving Constantinople.
Physical dice, yes?
Yeah. I mean, if you have a dice roller, feel free.
I was just making sure there wasn't one built into the system we were supposed to be using.
Oh, no, there's not.
7.
Very
That's
nice.
a 3
Okay.
from Vukan the Decapitator. His name
Because I'm
tells it all.
an idiot, remind me which dice which type of die I need to use? I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, so Zoe, for Isolde, you would be rolling a D8 for your insight score.
D8. Okay.
It's one of the main 4 stats on your character
Got
sheet.
it.
It happens to be my best stat, so of course I rolled a 2.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. I have rolled a 3.
Okay, all right. So it seems like maybe Edmund was the only one kind of like paying a lot of attention during your briefing with the rector back at the Canticum. Or I don't know, maybe Leo, you can tell me like if you've got some connects who have some gossip who have let you know this stuff. But Edmund, something that you exclusively would know, and I guess, you know, maybe you share it with your fellow pilgrims in your caravan here, but there's a couple of things that you've picked up. One is that since the abandonment, Thessaloniki has transformed from the second largest and most powerful former Byzantine city into a completely impoverished backwater. Between the plague ravaging the city, the Palaiologan civil wars tearing people apart, the hesychasm controversy, all of this kind of stuff. And then finally, of course, the abandonment. The city has just never replenished its population. And because of its diminished population, it's just never been able to economically recover. The ancient Roman walls that surround the city provide protection from demoniacs and from brigands, but it's pretty common knowledge that starvation and dire poverty are just all too common inside of their bounds. A lot of people think, or like a lot of nobles and maybe some like richer burghers think that the city of Thessaloniki, the despotate, is probably on the brink of collapse and needs economic support from Constantinople just to survive for even like a year longer at this point. The other thing, Leo, that Edmund would know because you rolled so nicely there, there have been whispers of civil unrest gripping Thessaloniki. There's a group calling themselves the Second Commune of the Zealots that have organized the peasantry and the burghers of the city into a resistance against the aristocracy. It's pretty well known that like the aristocracy in Thessaloniki, not the coolest people on earth. They tend to hoard away not just food and money, but also the city's relics. So kind of denying everybody else the opportunity to actually die a natural death when their time comes, hoarding away those relics. And it's whispered that this second commune of the Zealots wants to repeat what the first commune of the Zealots did in the 1340s, seizing the wealth and property of the aristocracy and redistributing it to the people of the city, effectively establishing like a republican government within Thessaloniki. You don't know if anything has come of that. It's just kind of the rumor mill was kind of churning before you got here. But yeah, now standing before the city, like I said, the eastern gate that leads in from the Roman road has been left ajar. There are no guards at the gate. You can see inside the city, it is dead quiet. There's no activity whatsoever. I am going to railroad us a little bit just because we're short on time. So I'm going to say, you saw this giant kind of plume of black smoke in the center of town. And as you move towards it, trying to kind of maybe investigate, see what's going on here. Like I said, the streets are empty, but there are signs of struggle everywhere. You see pools of blood in the street. You see broken, like merchant carts and crates, things like that have like obviously had people thrown into them or were like broken apart in a struggle. Some of these stone buildings have like claw marks that are kind of raked across them. But yeah, basically just everywhere you look, you can tell that there was a very recent struggle that happened right here in the center of Thessaloniki. As you get closer to the source of the smoke, you climb up kind of a low hill into the Roman agora that sits in the very center of town. It has these kind of ancient colonnades that even, from a bit away, you can see have been just gutted by fire. It's completely charred black. Any kind of roof that was over the agora has kind of collapsed in on itself. And as you approach, you notice that the source of the smoke is actually this massive bonfire that has been piled up in the middle of the agora. And when I say bonfire, I mean it in the very literal old world sense that it is a bone fire. As you approach, you get a little bit closer. You can see that this bonfire has been made of bodies, like dozens and dozens of bodies that have been kind of thrown into a heap, lit on fire. And it's not like, a huge fire at the moment. It's still kind of smoldering. The flames have died down a bit, but it's still producing just a ton of this choking smoke. You can smell burning timber and hair and flesh as you get closer to it. And I think that is where I will leave y'all off. So you're standing in the middle of Thessaloniki. It's a pretty big city. It took you maybe 20 or 30 minutes to get here from the gate on foot. And yeah, you're standing in front of this massive pile of burnt and burning bodies. What would the four of you like to do?
The scripture says that the Lord guided his faithful with a pillar of fire in the desert. I suppose now that he has abandoned the world, we must make our own somehow.
Looks more like any pagan village when Lodos, but had us go pay a visit.
Yeah.
Somebody is very much worse off. Already, like the bow is out. Screw the stringing of it. I can fix that later. But slightly on edge, paying attention around. You guys know everything that was said before, by the way, and the reason why is the language barrier had me pestering all of you to be like, "What does that word mean? What does that word mean? I don't know that one." So in the process of explaining to me all those unfamiliar words that somehow I kept, you guys figured out what was going on.
Well, it's like you were trying to keep it a secret, but you needed so much information that they just
I'm
got
doing
it.
a little better. At this point, I'm doing a little better, but when I arrived, no.
Yeah, I think I'm also in soldier training mode of okay, there's bodies on fire. The Lord Schmord, this is a very dangerous situation. So maybe walking in front with the spear, kind of trying to create some distance while Edmund strings the bow, and we all decide how we're going to interpret this in terms of our quest from the Canticum of Constantinople. So just to recap, we're here for some sort of relic trade. That's why we've come to this obviously dangerous location.
Yes, that is correct. You've come to this very obviously dangerous location. Like I said, to basically secure and bring back to Constantinople this specific relic called the Crater of Dionysus. It's
good thing it's not something fragile like pottery.
Yeah. It's made of bronze. It'll be fine. But no, it's this ancient crater. It's for folks who are unfamiliar, they're basically these big ass cups that you would mix wine, water, and spices into, and then you would serve. It's like a serving bowl, basically. But no, this one in particular, none of y'all have ever seen it. You've probably seen these vessels before, probably clay, something more fragile. But it is rumored that this thing is beautiful. It's made out of hammered bronze and has cast sculptures of Dionysus and fauns and satyrs dancing across it. And like I said, none of you have ever seen it, but it's a fairly famous relic, mostly because of how much quintessence it is said to hold within it. Zoe, I think you were going to say something.
Yes, so Yissel would like to go toward the burning pyre, grab a stick or something around, and just sort of, I'm not going to touch anything yet, but I'd like to see if I can recognize what's happened, what's gone on, who, which, is there a denomination one way or the other of who's won and who's burning, and whether these are demoniacs or not?
Yeah, great question. I will have you roll an insight check for me. So again, that's going to be a D8 for you.
8, and I've got a passive for my scholar background, which is whenever I make an insight check to recall information about demoniacs and their behavior at a +1, does that apply here?
Yeah, I'd say that can apply here. Yeah.
Johannes would like to investigate similarly, but he is trying to determine the socioeconomic class of the bodies on the pyre.
Great. Yeah, I'll also have you roll insight, which I think is D12 for Johannes.
So I've got a 5.
Okay. And then 6. Gotcha. Okay.
Serving move on. I'm getting a different one.
So Zoe, for Isolde, you poke around a bit. Using your stick, kind of poking around a bit. You can't get too much information about like whether or not these are demoniacs or like to kind of recreate what happened. I mean, you do notice that almost every body that is in this pile has some kind of maleficia, even if it's been kind of like, burned away a little bit. But yeah, I think with a 5, that's probably all you can really gather is like, okay, yeah, you're noticing there is a lot of maleficia, but like the bodies are so charred that you can't really tell whether or not they were demoniacs or whether or not they were still, human, quote unquote, before kind of being thrown into this fire. Mac with a 6, Giannis, you got a 6, right? Did I recall that correctly? Okay, great. I passed my insight recall check. With a 6, it's not much difference, but you are a little bit more successful. So you're able to tell, and you were specifically looking for socioeconomic class from the scraps of clothing that still remain, the things that haven't been completely burnt away. You can tell that like these were certainly peasants, like maybe some folks that were like burghers, a little bit more mobile in there as well, but it's a lot of like hempen clothes, a lot of like very rough spun, kind of homemade clothing that's in the pile from, just stuff that hasn't burnt. That's kind of what you're able to pick up is that this is probably mostly peasantry that have been kind of burned up in this big pyre. Sweet. Okay, so we've got Vukan with his what'd you say, halberd? No, your spetum. You've got your spetum out.
Just a big old spear.
Edmund, you are figuring out the string of your bow. I think in the meantime, I'm going to have everybody make another insight check for me.
Mm-hmm. One thing
This to prevent against an ambush because my goat eyes give me an advantage there.
Yeah, you can roll with advantage.
Okay.
9.
Or not advantage, but a plus whatever.
Mm-hmm. White, you got a 2?
10.
Nice.
9.
Very nice.
From my guy's perspective, we just have to figure out who is in charge. If it's the same people who were in charge before, we might have to help them do something unsavory so that they let us leave with the thing. If it's the people who were fighting the power, we have to try to bargain with them with promises of them getting recognized as the new rulers if they play nice and hand off the thing. Those are the two clearer approaches. Mm-hmm. Like the main carrot that we can offer as opposed to the stick is our employer will recognize your authority.
Yeah.
Well, I can't tell head or arse just looking at it.
I love speaking on behalf of the Sultanate, the Caliph. So, whatever allows me to make grandiose claims on behalf of my former employer, and that be correct. Edmund, I know a fellow soldier always has a strategy in mind, and I clap you on the back while still looking, scanning for danger, but not really paying attention, apparently. I got it too.
If it befalls that the people previously in charge are still in charge, then they have clearly performed a massacre of our working class brethren, and we should avenge them.
And are you to be the one first off with sword in hand?
I have a sling.
David and Goliath, then, is it?
Yes.
Precisely. That's fantastic. All right, so as y'all are all, trying kind of figuring out the situation, thinking through what you are going to do. Ioannis, Edmund, and Isolde. All three of you at the same time. I think maybe we'll narrativize it this way. Vukan, you were in the middle of talking about how like you'll do whatever it takes depending on who's in charge, yada yada, clapping Edmund on the back, all that, not paying attention just in that split second of a moment. But Isolde, Ioannis, Edmund, all three of you kind of simultaneously, maybe you're not looking at it, but you hear the bonfire kind of shift. It's almost as if like, just kind of naturally when you're burning wood, it kind of will collapse in some parts, things like that. You hear a sound kind of like that, and you notice that like sparks fly out. Turning around quickly, I think especially Isolde with your goat eyes and your
my stick.
and your stick. I think especially you would notice that emerging from this bonfire are 4 figures. They're kind of like digging their way out from underneath bodies that are on top of them. And after just a second, you can see that they've kind of dug themselves free and they're kind of like clawing their way out. Each one of them, we'll say it's what was probably once some peasants, who knows, but each one of them, they're burnt to a crisp. They are all stick thin, and it looks as though their flesh has been charred, like they were in a fire, turns out. But you can see little like licks of flame coming out from the cracks in their skin. And as they kind of get their bearing, they immediately notice your party as you're having this conversation. And one of them kind of like looks directly at the 4 of you and just starts to like bellow this horrible kind of scream. We'll say that this one was I don't really know how to put it, is a femme body, but she starts to scream, and you can see that from her throat there's like a fiery glow that's kind of emanating and getting brighter as she's standing on top of this pile of like smoldering corpses, screaming at you. And in that moment, as soon as she kind of finishes and takes a breath, all four of these demoniacs rush at your caravan. So they've dug themselves out and they're going for it. They've noticed moving bodies and they're just going to immediately close in. No thought, no consideration, anything, just jumping into it. So I'm going to have everybody roll initiative. So you're going to roll finesse for this. Every time you start combat in Danse Macabre, you just roll finesse to do initiative. And Zoe, for Isolde, that's a D6.
Got that big 11.
To save
Nice.
time, I assume we're taking it as read that these are in fact no longer humans with human thoughts. Like they are definitely demoniacs.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a 3.
Nice.
3.
The growling flame throat gives it away that they are not interested in speaking with us in
Yeah.
Greek or Turkish or anything else.
Well, they might just be, reacting because they were recently burned and are understandably a bit miffed.
You're welcome to parley with them. I'm getting behind a cart.
Well, that's why I checked with the GM.
Preparing.
Leo, remind me, what did you roll again?
3.
3. Okay. And Mac, what did you get?
4.
4. Okay.
Am I? Feel free to lay this out as like whenever is appropriate, but I'm going to assume for the moment that I'm the closest one to all of these.
Yeah, I think.
Cool.
I think Isolde and Ioannis are definitely like right up, because y'all were like digging around in it, while these two were getting their weapons at the ready.
I was sure the attack would come from literally any other direction than the already set on fire dead people. So.
Sort of, yeah, like expecting demoniacs to come rushing toward our location?
Well, that's one of those setting assumptions. A bunch of dead people don't stay dead here. Also, I expect that even if Isolde is currently closer than me, I'm going to very soon be the closest if she decides to move because she's faster than I am.
It could happen. Okay, so
not only am I probably faster, I also, because I'm choleric in nature, have impetuous action.
Oh, you can use that, yeah.
So I think I will opt to do so.
Great, moving you up. So you were going to act first.
Yes.
But for the first round of combat, all of your rolls will be made with disadvantage.
Perfect. Okay.
Sweet.
Cool.
And I guess I should say, this is to support the Kickstarter, all that stuff. I should say, so in Danse Macabre, you don't have like alignments or things like that. You're not chaotic or good or neutral or anything like that. Instead, we chose to go with the four humors from Galen's theories on humoralism. So you can be sanguine, you can be phlegmatic, you can be choleric, or you can be melancholic. They kind of set the baseline of your character's personality, but it's not the totality of who they are. But each one of those comes with a power that you can choose one of three of during character creation. And yeah, impetuous action is one that Zoe has chosen for Isolde and is using now. And yeah, you probably picked this up already, but basically that power allows you to act first in initiative order whenever you get into combat. But your first round of combat, whether you're attacking, dodging, anything like that, will be done with disadvantage because you're rushing into action without thinking about it.
She's Irish.
Yeah.
I'm really playing into the stereotypes here, aren't I?
Yeah.
Irish into action.
Irish into action.
I rush into action. Oh, God. I hope we don't get canceled in Northern Ireland.
Well, first of all, my accent is from County Mayo, actually, because I lived over there for a while.
Well, I'm going to be canceled in County Mayo then.
There you go.
All right, let's jump into it. So, yeah, Isolde, you are standing right next to this bonfire, right? You were digging around. Four of these demoniacs that have clawed their way out, they're rushing at you and your party. You're first up. What would you like to do?
Okay. So, in terms of setting and figuring this out, if I run, like I don't want to flee because I've got my mace.
Sure.
I would rather drop my stick, pull out my mace, and whack one of these motherfuckers. Can I opt to do that?
You can absolutely opt to do that.
Okay.
So in combat, in DM, much like a lot of other systems, you basically get like 2 actions per round. So you can like move and attack. You can move twice. You can attack twice. There's also basically free actions. So I would say, yeah, dropping your stick would be a free action, busting out that mace, and then just whacking.
Okay.
That totally works.
I will do that. So that is a D8 plus DVIT, which is 10 for me.
So we'll see. We have to see if you hit first. So you're going to roll your vitality score, which is D10, to see if you hit one of these fools.
Okay, here we go. 6.
Okay, cool. So this, we'll say, the one that's closest to you, kind of bearing down right on you because you were so close. You can like swing the mace back, try to whack it. It is going to try to dodge your attack. So it's going to burn 2 grit, going down to 12.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see if we can dodge that. Remind me, what did you roll again?
6.
6. Okay, yeah, great. No, yeah, your mace strikes true. Go ahead and roll damage for me. So that's going to be the whatever DX plus your DVIT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you roll both, and the sum total is applied.
The sum total is applied. Okay, so here we go. That is an 8 and a 7, so 15.
Very nice. Could you narrate for us how you temporarily kill this demoniac that was rushing at you?
All right. So Yisel, seeing all of this, immediately, oh shite, drops the stick, sort of flings the stick toward the demoniac, and reaching down, grabbing the mace, just without a thought, just swings and just, I guess, if there's still blood to be spilt and or ash flying off, it just kind of poofs into the air. And then I may have already done this in my free action. Can I get back a little bit? Not out of close range, but back from the pyre, out of burning range, let's say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, after hitting the demoniac, that's one of your actions. So yeah, you can take a moment to move back, especially since you're not like locked in combat with anybody after putting that one demoniac down. Perfect.
And I'll just holler, see, oi, you soldiers, get over here! If I can squeeze that in as a flavor thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, so Vukan, you just saw Isolde react very quickly and smack the hell out of a demoniac that had come out of this pyre, just completely caving in its head, just falling limp to the ground at her feet. You have your spedum out. You're a little bit a ways away, but there are still 3 more of these kind of burning demoniacs that are kind of rushing down onto the whole of the caravan. But it is your go.
Yeah, no, I rush in. I mean, as I'm rushing, I'm trying to think of something witty to say because I'm very impressed by Isolde's actions there. But I think it just comes out as like, oh, dude, fucking cool. Like, it's just like the dumbest possible thing in whatever like Middle Turkish would have been to say. So I'm attacking. So I am gonna roll. So I have a spedum. It's a huge spear. It's got like kind of 2. It's like a big grippy part, and then it's kind of thins out almost like a harpoon and has like a big head for just, you could stab, you could throw, kind of all purpose, and it's a finesse weapon, so I'm very good. I've been trained. This is my thing, is using swords and spears, and I also have a bunch of powers about this. So I have the power halberdier, so I gain a +2 bonus to attack, and polearm training, so I get a +1 bonus. So whenever I attack with a spear, I get a +3 bonus total to attack. So D12 +3 to hit.
Dang.
Rolled a 12. Not even kidding. Roll a natural 12. So unless this guy's going to dodge a 15, he's getting whoever is the nearest demoniac is just getting rammed with a spear.
Yeah. I love that. Well, I mean, literally, technically cannot match a 12. Well, I guess if he burned grit.
You want to? It's a 15, so you go for it. I'm very happy.
Yeah, no.
This guy burn some grit.
Yeah. He's gonna burn 2 to dodge, and then another 6, so he'll be down quite a bit.
We have a good pun in the chat. Burned grit. Unintentional. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay, so you can see as you are going in with your spedum, you can see this demoniac. There's not like reason behind its eyes, but it recognizes that it is about to be attacked. And maybe it like panics for a second, tries to jump backwards out of the way, out of the reach of your spear. But because it is standing on this, unstable kind of pile of burnt bodies and wood, some of it kind of breaks away under his foot, and he ends up kind of tumbling backwards. So yeah, you definitely hit. Roll damage for us.
So I'm rolling D finesse plus the D10 for attacking two-handed with a spear. And that is 9 and a 10. So 19 total damage. Rolling hot. I'm just driving him into the pot. I think I say the same thing that I said when I saw Isolde hit, which is, but it's like a different inflection. It's like, fucking cool. But again, however that would sound more eloquent in the, I was trained in the court.
All that Janissary court training.
Yeah.
Never stuck.
I mean, they abducted me when I was a kid. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's been going on in my head? But I've been fighting a long time.
I feel like all of your positive expletives would have something to do with the Sultan. Just be like Sultan's blood or something like Sultan's beard. I don't know, something like that.
Oh, you want like a Johnny Quest, like not dropping any F-bombs in this one? Yeah, sure.
No, you can drop out. That's fine.
No, I like that. Yeah, by my
Sweet.
uncle's beard. Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, can you narrate what happens? You drive your spear and you murk this demoniac.
Listen, I did not make these guys on fire. So flaming zombies, as I the player have seen, I don't think Vukan has ever witnessed maybe this particular. Maybe he has. He's been in war. He's been in battles anyway. I think they split in half. You know, you hit them and they're already kind of roasted. It's like whacking a rotisserie chicken against a telephone pole. It just breaks in half. I don't know.
Bizarre analogy.
It's just so tender.
How often do you do that?
This is a key thing in game design, Mac.
It's like the origin of hit points, right? It's like how many 14-inch shells a hull can take before being eviscerated. We calculate it in terms of rotisserie chicken from Costco.
Yeah. The grit system is based on rotisserie chicken destruction instead of
Not as you might think, grits.
Yeah.
Chris, please move on to the next.
That's the secondary part of it. Okay, so you eviscerate this rotisserie demoniac. That's fantastic. I think so. Seeing two of its not friends, they don't have friends, but seeing two of its fellow demoniacs being put down this way. The third one, which we'll say is the woman who was standing kind of on top of the pile, did the big scream. You saw her throat start to light up. Seeing two of her buds go down so quickly and so violently, she's certainly going to react. So she starts to scream once more. She starts to scream once more, and if you kind of like look over your shoulder or look up at her, you can see that the light that you saw in her throat starts to get brighter and brighter and brighter, and then eventually, almost as if she's like, when you swallow air to belch, there's like a moment where she's kind of like getting her breath, and then just releases, and this fine kind of mist sprays out from her sublingual ducts. You can see her tongue's raised up a bit. She shoots out this mist, and it immediately catches fire when it makes contact with the air. And essentially, she is spitting a huge fireball that is bearing down on all four of you. So let's see what happens then. Okay, so each one of you can choose to dodge if you'd like to. We'll see if you're able to dodge this. Anytime you dodge an attack or anything like that in Danse Macabre, you burn 2 grit, and then you're going to roll your finesse to see if you can get out of the way. But otherwise, just over the table talk here, otherwise this will hit anybody who does not or cannot dodge for 2d6 damage, and might give you some burns as well.
Definitely trying to dodge. Definitely burning 2 grit here.
I will dodge as well, and I owe you a round with disadvantage because I did the impetuous action, so I totally forgot. So
that's true. Well, we'll apply
round,
it.
Yeah, and for this one,
we can just apply it to the rest of this round. It's fine.
Okay.
So you'll make this dodge with disadvantage. I think that's that's on me, honestly.
No. I forgot. I'm in charge of my character. I'm supposed to track this. But I do have quick reflexes, which means that I should be making this with advantage. So I'm guessing this cancels it out.
That just cancels it out in that case, yeah.
It's finesse, right? We roll
yes,
finesse?
Correct.
All right. I got an 8.
6.
Okay. Mac, you got a 1. And Zoe, you got a 4?
I got a 4.
Okay. So Vukan and Edmund, you see this thing coming. Maybe you're both a little further back. Vukan, you just did that attack, but with your spear. So maybe you have a little bit, just a hair of a second more to react to what's happening. And as this fireball kind of like comes down off of this mound of burnt people, you see it completely engulf both Isolde and Giannis. But the two of you are able to just kind of skip back out of the way as it kind of like hits the ground and disperses. Isolde and Ioannis, you're both going to take some damage here. Each one of you is going to take 9 points of damage. And then we're going to see if you have suffered any burns from this as well. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. All right, so Isolde, you get hit by this fire. Maybe it like singes your hair. It hurts. It sucks. It's not fun to get hit with a fireball, as we all know. But you're able to kind of quickly pat out the flames and don't sustain any kind of further injuries from it. Ioannis, on the other hand, you are going to get a little bit of a burn from this. This is literally a mechanic called burn. The power that this demoniac was using, when it deals damage, it also inflicts burn 1. So I roll a d6 as the chronicler. If we hit a 1, then basically you're just going to take a little bit of extra damage for just 1 round. So you're just going to take 1 point of damage on the next round, but should be okay.
Question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does that go continuously until it's put out, or is that just for the next round?
It's just for the next round.
Okay.
Yeah. It's, think of it as like, I don't know, the top of Giannis's head is on fire or something like that. And speaking of people with their head on fire, Giannis, it is your opportunity to go. What would you like to do?
Well, first, I'd like to suggest a witticism to Wythe. Have you tried Spadum, I hardly know him?
Yeah, no, we learned that's like week 1 of being a janissary, being a kidnapped child forced to become an elite soldier for a powerful empire. Yeah. No, that's great, Mac. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Johannes is going to attempt to back away while fumbling to get out his sling and sling bullets. I assume that trying to do both of these at once will take up his whole turn. And he is going to be moving at his top speed of a literal snail's pace.
Very nice. I think no, we'll say that getting your sling ready, that could be a free action. So if you want to move and then like get as far away as you can and then try to sling somebody, you can go for it.
All right. I will sling somebody then. Let's see. It's insight to attack.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got lead bullets, so if I hit, it inflicts stun 2. Got a 6 to attack.
Nice. Okay, so we'll say, there's the demoniac that just did the fireball that's kind of on top of the pyre. And then lower down, I would say probably closer to like running towards Edmund is the last one.
Oh, I'm definitely aiming at the one that set me on fire.
That's what I figured, but I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. She literally has no more grit because had to use it all for that fireball attack, so she's just gonna kind of take it, I guess. But yeah, you rolled a 6, you did not roll a 1, so you kind of automatically hit her. So go ahead and roll damage.
All right, it says insight plus d6. So that's 11 plus stun 2.
Okay, I'll roll for the stun. Okay, so yeah, you do quite a bit of damage. I would say you don't get the stun, unfortunately. Maybe instead of it like hitting her kind of square in the head, you see it like hits her shoulder and it spins her around. Maybe you even hear like the crack of bone as the lead bullet kind of hits her shoulder, like dislocating it. You can see it kind of like as she's spinning, it's just kind of flailing in the air. And yeah, I think, she's pretty badly hurt. I think that it's going to take her a moment to recover from this, but she kind of like I said, spins and then like drops a little bit out of sight as she's trying to kind of recover.
See, sling, Goliath.
Edmund, you see this just beautiful act of slingsmanship, I guess is what you would call it, slingership. And like I said, you've got this last demoniac is kind of still rushing towards you. But yeah, I'd say you've got some time to react here. What would you like to get up to?
He just barely had to step out of the radius of the fireball, and he just planted himself to get a firm stance, just nice, crisp, and composed. After he realized there weren't that many, he ditched the whole get behind the car thing, just planted his feet, had a quick look, no armor, kind of emaciated looking. It's going to be more of a bodkin than anything else. Gets it in, pulls, and like holding the breath for a moment before releasing, and I'm going to use my big ass appellant longbow.
Nice.
And fuck it, I'm dumping 3 grit in it.
Great.
For fun. That would be an 11 to hit.
Ooh. All right. Well, this guy will dodge 2, but it's not going to make a difference. Did roll 8. Okay. Yeah. Great. No, you hit. So go ahead and roll damage with your appellant longbow.
A dumb amount of d6s because I came here under geared just to be able to carry this thing. Okay, that's 13 damage.
13 damage. Would you like to tell us how you kill this demoniac?
After making the decision of just picking the appropriate one and letting loose, he looks very, very calm under pressure. He goes, "That was nice, but check this." A little bit of a cockiness going on. Lets loose. The arrow goes right in the glowing neck. Straight through, breaks the spine, falls off somewhere behind it. Cloud of ignited gas leaking out of the holes on both ends. Falls backwards slowly. Kind of gives a cheeky wink, puts the thing back on his back. Yeah,
Very
nice. Practice. Moving way too slow.
Very nice. I love that. Yeah, it like rips the head off, and there's just like a little mushroom cloud puff of pyrophoric liquid that was like held in its neck.
But I'm immediately looking around to see if anything else was called by the attention, if there are like people spying from any windows around us. I want to know who's paying attention to this. Somebody gotta be.
Yeah, very good. I like that. So yeah, I think that's a great question. And Leo, I'm not even going to make you roll to figure out if somebody's spying, because we'll say, this demoniac head pops off, whoosh of flame coming out of the top. The demoniac that Ioannis, that you injured so badly, you can see like she fell kind of behind, she like maybe like tumbled down the pyre a bit. She's just running away. I think that like, even with kind of like baseline understanding of what is happening, even without humanity, like you would, you're still an animal, right? So like she knows she's in pain. She's watched these other demoniacs like her just get completely eviscerated like a rotisserie chicken. And she just starts booking it. And you can see that she is running like straight to the north from where you're standing right now. So there's like kind of a wide avenue that's leading north between a bunch of different basilicas and kind of stone and timber buildings, things like that. But yeah, she's booking it. And Edmund, from behind you, you hear the voice of a fairly young woman, not like a kid or a teenager, but still pretty young, pretty bright and cheerful. And she just goes, "Wow, I've never seen anybody fight demoniacs that way. You guys are incredible. Oh my God." And if you turn around, you see that, this is a young woman, a young Greek woman in her early 20s. She's wearing a like very torn and soot smudged linen dress. But other than that, she seems perfectly healthy. She has no maleficia. But you do get the sense, just looking at her straight away, that like this is not a noble, this is not a burgher, like this is a peasant girl who just happened to be watching you fighting these demoniacs. And that's where I'll leave you.
clapping for all of us. I'm also
Yeah,
holding
yeah.
the spear, but I'm like, great, yeah, great.
Yeah,
Doing
just smugly mention that where I come from, we're all made to trade with the bull since we're little kids. So this stuff is second nature by now. So
Yeah.
yes, the professionals have arrived.
Child, take us to your leader so they may congratulate
Oh
us
Lord!
as
Right, ignore him. Ignore him.
Well, I can. I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know where my mom is actually. I would take you to her. I
Your
would take
mom
you to
is
the
the king
Archon.
here? The king of
Oh, no.
Thessaloniki?
No. She's not a king. That's crazy. No, she's the Archon. She was elected to be the leader of us of the commune.
The glorious revolution has come!
Yeah,
Comrades! You have nothing to lose but your chains!
yeah. She's
So-
like, this guy gets it. Have you gotten some of our pamphlets? I don't think they wouldn't have pamphlets, but you know what I
The
mean.
pamphlets.
Yeah.
I can't read.
Have you gotten our scrolls in Constantinople?
You know, there's a lot of literature going around these days. I've written a few of them myself.
He's a heretic. Ignore him.
Shit.
So I would have joined in this conversation earlier, but I just finished turning around.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
What were you gonna say,
you
Zoe?
guys are in charge.
I want to give the others a look and kind of under my breath say something along the lines of, well, we're sort of on the other side of the scenario, so should we get on with her? See about her contract? What are we feeling?
Figure out if the commune is actually in charge of or if it's more 50-50 is probably the first thing I would do. Whoever
Right,
holds
child.
the location that has the thing is the people you
Right.
should be talking to.
The
Also-
Croter of whatever the guy's name is.
Crater of Dionysus. Also, Edmund, I think, had the right diplomatic suggestion earlier where we can offer recognition to the commune in exchange for the crater.
I'm going to whip back around and just look at her and go, right, love, what's your name then?
I love how nice you are to her. Yeah, she introduces herself. She does kind of an awkward curtsy, and like I said, like her clothes are completely covered in soot. It's all over her hands. So as she's like picking up her dress and curtsying, she's making it a little bit worse. But she introduces herself to you. She says, "My name is Timaeus Lascaris. I am the daughter of Theodora, the Archon of the commune. Welcome to Thessaloniki. I guess it's not been great here since we launched the revolution."
That's how they tend to go.
Yeah, it's a lot rougher than I thought it was going to be, but I think we're doing okay. I think it's gonna be all right. You can tell, like, she's just very sanguine about everything, right? Like literally sanguine. But I think. Let's see. How would she react to this? No, she would say, "Okay, so you wanted to meet Theodora, my mom, the Archon of the commune. Is that right?"
I wager that's a wise idea. We're looking for something, and we need a wee bit of help in getting there.
Oh, what are you looking for? Maybe I can help you.
Well, we're looking more generally for quintessence, actually.
Oh, well, that's going to be pretty hard to find. I mean, the aristocracy, they've been keeping the quintessence away from us forever. I mean, it's one of the reasons that we decided to revolt. That and the starvation and privation and just kind of general, essentially being slaves to the despot. Yeah, so I guess there's lots of reasons to revolt, but yeah, I mean, everybody needs quintessence unless you want to turn into one of them. And she points, and you see the burnt demoniac is still like running down the road, kind of comically running north. Yeah, so she's like, well, if you want to talk to the Archon, my mother, that's great. I think she would be happy to lend y'all a hand. Maybe if you can help us with our revolution, we can help you. I don't know. I can't make those kinds of deals. But the last time that I saw my mom was actually a day ago, when she was leading the kind of remnants of the zealots up to, oh man, I already forgot it, the Heptapyrgion, which is,
That's when you throw up 7 times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's a citadel at the very, very north of Thessaloniki. And it's named for having 7 towers, even though technically it has 10 for some reason. Still the 7-tower citadel. I don't know.
Later editions.
Yeah, well, I do actually think that that's probably the case, is that it was named in a much earlier period and then, built up over time. All that good stuff.
It's like a squid. Technically, 3 of those aren't really towers, but like only a specialist knows the difference.
Yeah. Here, I'll put the name in the chat just so y'all can be as confused about the pronunciation as I am.
Thank you, child. We will now go to your Heptapyrgion to meet your mother, the king, and get from her the magic cup, the croter of the Danes.
She says, well, I mean, my mom is not the king of anybody. The reason that she went to the Citadel is because there are still aristocrats who are holding on in there. That's been their base of operations for generations now. Friends of ours have just disappeared. They've been taken prisoner up to the Citadel and just never heard from again. But we do know that is where they keep their food stores, as well as the treasury where they keep their quintessent relics at. I'm sure if you can find my mom up there, we're so close to victory. We're so close to overthrowing the despot. So if you help out, she can just give you some relics. We'll need some. You can't have everything, but I don't know. Maybe she can help you out.
Slight cultural barrier with that one. You should probably negotiate with someone else.
She's like, well, yeah, I don't have the authority to promise anything, of course, but
he's sold. I have a thought. Building on Edmund's diplomatic suggestion earlier, if it is the case that they are on the brink of success, throwing in our lot with them would probably help our case a lot in getting to walk away with the Crater once they have stormed the greedy aristocrats' final stronghold.
Well, I say we get up there and have a look, and then make our next choice then. Because technically we are on contract for... There's a family relation to be thinking about. I say we bring the girl with us.
Oh, yes. This is... Now I understand. She's definitely not our hostage. Wink, wink.
No, she's our guide. Obviously.
Can you please take us to your mother so that we may find the Croter and thank her in person? And not to take all your relics. Yes, you don't have to worry about that. We're not an army. You can see there's only 4 of us. We also saved you, so you kind of owe us.
Yeah, no argument from her on that. Yeah, no, she happily assents. She says, "Yeah, I'll be your guide. I can take you up north to the citadel, to the Heptapergian. Yeah, just follow me." And we'll do a little fast forwarding here, but basically, she's going to take you up north through the city. You can tell on this kind of like 30-ish minute walk, you're making your way kind of up the hill to an acropolis where the citadel sits on top of it. And you can, like, even from where you were at the Agora, you can plainly see where the citadel is, right? It like overlooks the entire town, kind of has its own curtain walls, all that good stuff. But, as you're walking through the city of Thessaloniki, you can tell that, like, the rumors that Edmund had heard before, that it's just dire poverty that's kind of stricken the city, are very true, right? Like, there's a lot of former glory. There's a lot of, kind of big monuments and things like that, big arches, colonnades, these kind of large estates and tenement houses that have just fallen into total disrepair as you kind of are making your way up north. But after walking for a while, you do end up coming to the kind of southern entryway gate to the Heptapergion. And I would say, even a ways away, as you get closer, well, let me say this. So, homegirl, Timaeus, who has been guiding you up north, kind of ducking into alleys, things like that, if she thinks that there's a demoniac or something coming, picking your way north. The entire time that you're walking with her, she's just like regaling you with stories about the revolution, where she's like, "Oh, you should have seen it. You should have seen it in the first couple of days. We drove out so many of the nobles. They just went fleeing to the hills. They didn't even know what to do once we rose up. And the despot, he locked himself up in his keep with just a handful of guards and people. And, it's as soon as we can break down the gate, as soon as we can get into the keep, it's going to be over. We're going to have the city. It's going to be fantastic. My mom has all these great ideas for Republican government where we get to elect our leaders and we all have a say, and it's going to be equal and free, and we won't have to worry about giving all of our money and all of our food and all of our quintessence to people who don't appreciate us. You know what I mean?
I'm kind of actively and enthusiastically like encouraging her and like occasionally clapping.
You're like, hell yeah.
It takes 3 times as long to get up there because of your slugfoot, obviously. So there's plenty of time.
There's plenty of time to swap tails.
Yeah. If I can pilfer things from dead bodies along the way, I'm gonna just like, because if they've been also killing the nobles, I'm sure I'm going to find somebody with something nice along the way. And through the listening of the tales, I go from like stony faced, skeptical to kind of smirking a little bit. Just, yeah, sure. I'm happy to feather some fancy people to get the thing. It's not like the Canticum actually cares if it's the same family. They just want to control the place in more indirect means. Even the commune is going to need the church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she does tell you that the commune is still Christian. They're not like heretics or apostates or anything like that. Yeah, I would say make an insight check for me, Leo. We'll see if you find anything fun kind of along the way. I will say there's a lack of dead bodies in the street, but there are a lot of like abandoned carts and things like that. 10. Wow, nice. Let's see. Well, let's do this. Sweet. Okay, so we'll say that you pass by like a merchant stand that's kind of set up in the street that has been largely abandoned, or just has been abandoned. But the wares that were being sold are still out. So you see like some trinkets, some old pilgrims badges, things like that. But one thing does catch your eye, which is a like a gold-plated kind of locket that when you open it up, it has a like a Greek noble family's monogram etched on the inside. And we'll say that this thing is worth about, where did I roll? There we go. Yeah, we'll say this thing is worth about 230 SP just on its own. Like if you were going to trade it or sell it at market.
Or exactly one evening at Dice.
Or one evening at Dice, yes. Very nice. Yeah, sweet. Okay, so you have made your way north after all of that. And I guess the other thing I should say, Timaeus lets you know that the revolution, the commune, really kicked off about a week ago. So like while y'all were on the road after you had been sent here, all of this happened. So it's just, kind of a surprise, something that you weren't really apprised of before you left. But yeah,
if only I had real legs. We could have gotten here soon enough to join in.
Your slugfoot just slowed down the entire trip.
We need to negotiate some beast to carry you with whoever's in charge of here.
Oh, yeah. Maybe get you like an ox cart or something for the way back. Not a bad idea. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're approaching the Heptapyrgion, the citadel at the very far north of Thessaloniki. As you approach, you don't hear the kind of expected sounds of battle that, whatever, that you would have expected. You don't hear a big struggle or anything like that, but you do hear the kind of all too familiar kind of like moaning and like growling of demoniacs. And as you get closer to the gate, it starts to come into view. You can see that the front gate is just completely wide open, leading into this massive courtyard of the citadel. And inside of the courtyard, there is a huge horde of demoniacs that are just kind of milling about. It seems like some of them are like messing around with something on the ground. There might be, there might be some bodies that they're currently like kind of ripping at, maybe like chewing on a little lightly, having a light snack, things like that. But you can immediately tell that like these were people who have been fighting recently and have recently started to convert into demoniacs. They don't have as much maleficia as your typical demoniac, but they're certainly all, just kind of violently fighting amongst themselves, kind of milling about, things like that. Some of them are wearing, chainmail hauberks and some like nicer armor. You can tell that these were like city guards up until very recently. And then also mixed in with them are a bunch of people that are just in peasants' clothes. Some of them are still holding on to like their scythes and pitchforks and things, not really knowing what to do with them, just kind of like dragging them along at their side. And as you approach, Timaeus, just in complete shock, is like, oh no, what's happening? Where's my mother? Where are our fighters? What's happening? What's going on? And in that moment, she recognizes one of these demoniacs from a distance as one of her fellows in the commune, and just kind of breaks down and starts sobbing.
I want to grab her and like prevent noise, especially because if those things are within our line of sight and we hear them, they might hear us. So I would like to, before she can, just like grab her. So like I have 3 arms. It's very handy to keep people quiet and also immobile, and like motion with my head to just let everybody duck behind like one street back and talk this through.
Great. Yeah. As she's having this moment of panic and kind of realizing that, her friends have been in intense enough combat to have died multiple times and turned into demoniacs over the last couple of days, you grab her before she can really say something too loudly, and kind of pull off into a side alley, we'll say.
So this is not ideal for the political situation.
So much for the glorious revolution, then. Can whoever wants to, get her calmed down enough to speak clearly?
I think I
Yeah.
can help. I'm like of the hoi polloi. I'm good at talking to people of the same social standing.
You
Nice.
did just manhandle her a bit, though.
Yeah, but I'm going to have a little bit of a conversation. It's not like I haven't been made to be quiet in horrible situations before by somebody who cared.
Yeah.
He looks like he is actually, for the first time, not completely in work mode, but actually feeling for the girl, like something from the past got stirred a little bit.
Mm.
So he changes register a little bit, and then not the most fluent Greek tries to talk her through calming down. Like he has had to do that a few times.
Yeah, great. I mean, I'm not going to make you roll for that or anything. We'll say, like you said, you've got the power hoi polloi. Maybe as a suggestion, like you have a reminiscence about the peasants' revolt in England, and you're like, oh, the good old days.
That's definitely how I died and got the horn.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, I'd say, after a few moments, she's able to kind of catch a breath and calm down thanks to your efforts. Would does anybody have like any questions for her, or what do y'all want to do? You want to figure out what's going on, or just bust through this crowd of demoniacs? Totally up to you.
I want to ask her, where would your mother have gone when the fighting turned rough? Where would she have gone? And I want to ask one of the soldiers, do you want to go and have a look and see if you can determine who won out?
I have an ability to
Surely
track.
the aristocrats lost because the gate is open.
Well, but isn't her buddy not so good? I'm pretty sneaky, so if you want to explain what I'm looking for, real simply, Vuk will try to sneak out and not be observed and take a look at who's winning.
You
Are
can
you
just
asking-
let them system this? Like,
Are you asking me or Zoe?
No, I'm asking my fellow pilgrims what
Gotcha.
exactly, who how to tell. I mean, I'll figure it out, right? But you guys explain who's on which team, who's got.
Well, I want to get an answer from her, and then I think via
Sure.
dress we can determine who.
Yeah, we can, pair off, and you're pretty sneaky. I have a power that lets me track things, so you keep trouble out of us, and I try to follow the clues, so to speak. I can
Nice.
just burn 3 grit, make a check, and get on a target's trail. So if we can ascertain that a target was of the rebellion and made it out, then I can hone in on that one.
Okay. Yeah.
I can also contribute to this. This is the thing I actually get from this tongue, other than a speech impediment, is I have a sense of smell that lets me track.
Awesome.
It's true. Zoe. So you Isolde asks her, like where would your mother have gone? Like what's the deal? I don't think that she would know in this instance. She knows
What?
that her mother led a band of the zealots up to the gate with the intention of breaking down the gate, getting in there, dragging out the despot, Manuel II, and putting an end to this whole thing. And normally, I think what she would tell you is that normally the commune has kind of put its headquarters a little bit south of where you are right now in the old Roman baths, which are pretty easily fortified for them. But she could be anywhere in the city. Like a lot of people who, are maybe supportive of the commune, but haven't like taken up arms, they've just kind of hidden away, right? So the city is still pretty populated, but just people are hiding in their homes, which is a part of why you haven't ran into anybody at this point.
I think perhaps the move is we can just try and figure out where we should have enough tracking skills between us that we can determine what direction a large number of still living people has gone recently and follow that trail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
I mean, I guess just looking for non-demoniacs, right? That's like the first, and not people who are non-combatants in their houses, but people who are in charge-ish, interested in the fighting.
Yeah.
And assuming that, not everyone was wiped out in this battle and that there were survivors, like presumably a bunch of them would have stuck together when they retreated, and then we can just figure out where they went, because since Edmund and Johannes both have abilities to track, we should just go with that, I think.
Sweat,
that
blood, and metal.
sounds.
Yeah. How does your ability work? Mine is like a burn 3 grit, do a little check, and then I can track anyone for like about an hour. So if they're not an hour's walk away from here, we can probably find them.
I just get a straight a plus D4 bonus to any checks to track someone, which is an insight roll, which is already a high roll for me. So, like, it's a passive thing. I just have a good sense of smell that applies to this.
Yeah. So what I would say is, I think either of those powers are good and viable for tracking something. If you want to help each other out, I would say just one of you choose who's going to do the actual roll, and then you can basically assist. One of you can assist the other person, right? So that would add a +1 to that roll. I think in this case specifically, Mac, if you wanted to use your cute little snake tongue to assist Leo, we would add, instead of a +1, we would do a plus D4. So basically carrying over your mechanic.
That makes sense. Yeah. It sounds like his is more specialized, so I should be assisting. Yeah.
And I have the same insight die as you. I'm rolling a D10 for this. So I'm going to burn the grit, roll the dice, and get your bonus.
Let's do it.
And then why did you still want to look for any indication of who went out?
I mean, I think I'm sneaky, so if you want someone to just go ahead and look around at who's out there.
Sure.
I think you're tracking at some point, if you're not trying to alert demoniacs, will still involve that. So I can just generally scout. Yeah.
It's probably still going to involve some sneaky sneak. Okay, so let's do this. But Leo, before you do your roll, Wythe, let's have you do a little scouting. So you can like pop out, sneak around a bit, see if anybody is around. I'll just have you make a straight insight check for me.
This I would almost definitely hope to be finesse, since I am sneaking. I'm not looking. I'm just trying. Or I'm not particularly good at looking out. I'm just sneaky. I'm trying not to get caught as I walk through the streets, like house to house, ducking under things into whatever cover.
Okay, sure.
Possibly leaving the spear behind if needed, but just trying to be sneaky and see who is around.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Make a finesse check for me.
And then I can come back and be like, I saw a guy who looked like this. I don't know who that is.
I'm gonna butt in. Can I theoretically assist? Because I've got my goat eyes, and that would be a +1 with the insight. Feel free to veto this. I'm just throwing.
Yeah. No. You can assist Wythe. That'll do it. Okay. Give a +1 if you're using.
+1.
Yeah. There is an assist basic power. That just gives people bonuses for helping them out. So yeah, we can say. Maybe you're watching Wythe's back, or you're watching Vucas's back.
In this case, it does not matter. Vuka has a D12 for finesse, but rolled a 2. So even with a 3, that's a failure. Unless I'm able to burn grit after the fact, which would be sweet. But otherwise, that is straight up a fail. So
Wythe, that you have to declare it ahead of time. You can't just do it after. No, actually, I think that's. For the purposes of the playtest, since we do have some first timers, if you want to burn grit this one time after the fact, that's fine.
I will burn 3 grit if you let me. So I don't have a ton of grit, so I go down, and then that makes that a 6, which is a standard success instead of the 3. So thanks for the +1, Zoe, on whatever you were doing to help me be sneaky. Help me get my shoes off. I don't know.
My big ass goat eyes just staring.
Keeping those goat eyes on a swivel.
I think you're just holding my spear, honestly. You're just like, hey, take this. And then just like take my shoes off, my boots off. And I'm just like walking through the streets like, okay, so on a 6.
Playing lookout and frantically gesturing.
So you're able to get pretty close to the gates of the Citadel without alerting any of these kind of meandering demoniacs that are in the courtyard to your presence. I'll say that in that time, the thing that you do notice, I know this wasn't an insight check, but just taking your time, kind of ducking through all that good stuff. The thing that you do notice is that, so inside of the citadel, like I said, there's a big kind of open courtyard, and then there are 10 towers that kind of go all the way around. The largest tower is at the very, very north. It's like a 3-story tall stone square kind of keep. And as you're kind of passing by the gate, you notice that there are 2 archers that are standing on the very top, on the roof of the keep, who, whenever a demoniac gets a little bit too close to the door of that particular main keep, they'll just pelt it with arrows from the rooftop until it basically is, porcupined and just down on the ground. So there are 2 archers who have enough sense about them to recognize that there's danger coming, and you can tell they are trying to protect the front door of the keep, specifically inside of the citadel. So yeah, you can sneak back, report that to our other 2 folks and to Timaeus. And then
what I do. Yeah.
Great. And then Leo, let's go ahead. You burn some grit. Let's do your tracking roll.
Yeah, I rolled it just before you told me to wait a little bit, but I haven't moved the dice. So it's an exact 6, which means it works.
Great. Yeah. I think, in this instance, that definitely works. So what we'll say is that, maybe you're like looking around, you're looking for tracks for any kind of like signs of life. And, like Mac mentioned earlier, is probably like a party of people. And you're able to notice that kind of on the road, in the mud of the road, because it has been raining, you do see several tracks that have moved in a group from the gate away west from the gate, but still along the curtain wall of Septuapergion of the citadel. Sorry, I'm getting my phrases mixed up now. But yeah, so moving westward along the curtain wall of the citadel, you can kind of follow these tracks all the way around. And what you realize is that eventually the tracks end, they terminate at this storm drain that is built into the wall. It's kind of about waist high. You can tell it's just like an outlet drain in case there's like flooding or anything like that in the keep. It's like a stone arch, and there would normally be iron bars that kind of, keep things in / out. The bars have been basically like chipped at and then broken away. And you can see that they are laying on the inside of this storm drain, this like small tunnel, just on the floor, kind of in the middle of some water. So yeah, that's what I'll say. You're able to kind of follow this mass of footprints to this storm drain, but they seem to just go in from there. You can see like mud tracked down the drain, and it does get fairly dark inside of this kind of small waist high tunnel. But that's kind of where you're left at.
This may be a difficult pitch, but I think we should go into the small dark hole. Single file, I assume, is the way.
This is the slug party you talking. I have a torch,
Yes.
though, so...
There you
I
go.
want to ask the girl if she knows about any part of any hideout. She might not know where exactly her mother would go, but she might be acquainted with a few different hideouts, and if she could help guide us.
I think what she would be able to tell you, I don't think she would know any hideouts nearby, but I think what she would be able to tell you is that this storm drain is actually like locally kind of famous, because there are nights when there are people who have walked by who have reported that they can hear like the sounds of torture basically echoing out of this storm drain. You can hear people screaming and like scourges hitting flesh and stuff like that. But like, it's locally it's called the Wailing Drain, just because it's so common for people to walk by and just like hear people under duress from somewhere deep inside of it. That it is like, kind of a local fable, a famous local landmark. It's the Wailing Drain.
I gotta say, famous storm drain is not a great like tourism draw.
Medieval times,
well
Mac,
of the
medieval
town.
times. This is it.
Listen, they're in a transition of power. The tourism board totally up in the air. They haven't decided on their new branding yet.
I mean, I'm sure many of you have seen the Taliban tourism ad.
I haven't seen that. Actually.
It's a thing, but
I'll look
the
it up later.
information tells me that it might the wailing might be because it connects somehow to the dungeon under where they were trying to invade. I don't think these people were necessarily retreating. They might be going for an alternative path because the courtyard is basically lost to demoniacs.
Or reinforcements. As I am sure you remember from your time in the Peasants' Revolt, step 1 is to break open the prisons, because they'll join you.
Correct. I would hope the prison is under where they're trying to go. That would streamline the process.
I mean, if there are still people in the dungeons.
Yeah, but also,
Could help.
child, is there anything we can say in the dark for people, for your guys to not kill us out of wrong assumptions about what we're doing? A phrase, something we can say that just means we're not part of the local nobility. Hear us out, because it looks like a very good place to get shanked.
Well, we've got her, right? So her voice will be familiar enough.
That's
Hopefully.
true.
Yes, we usually
That's
just
true.
say we have a hostage, but I mean, sure, child, do you have like a better, cooler thing to say?
It's like, well, I don't know if I have a cooler thing to say. We don't have a phrase or anything like that. We don't have like a code word. We do have a secret knock. Maybe that'll help. And she like wraps her knuckles on the stone in a pattern where it's like 2 knocks, 2 knocks, 3 knocks, right? So
All right, so just
Basically.
rip a piece of wood from one of the boarded up houses, hand it to her, hold it against your chest, and periodically do the thing.
okay, she grips the plank of wood from the door to her chest and just starts knocking in that pattern over and over again.
That's what should help down there.
Nice.
So,
Sweet.
should we go in? Soldier, us, child in the middle, soldier on the end. I've got a torch.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Brilliant.
good order of operations. All right. Yeah. So who's going to be the soldier in front?
I'm happy to be in front, Leo, if you want me to do
Yeah.
that. So I have a spear out, and behind you're making the noise, the we're all cool rap beat.
Additionally, spears do go in front and archers do go in back.
Yeah, the archer is not going to try to do archery in pitch darkness. The archer is probably going to be holding a dagger.
Just because you're you're crawling through water, you can't arch while crawling through water. What do they teach you in England?
I mean, it's not the storm drain.
I thought it was all water. I don't even think you can get the boat or
giant,
the
big
vertical.
ass bow might not even move well in there. The spear is all to the front.
Now
I
it's
don't
a
know.
quarterstaff.
I don't know if you would have room to maneuver the bow in the waist-high storm drain.
Yeah, it's like a little taller than me when strung. It's enormous.
Yeah, they're big. Well, especially, and we should say the appellant bow that Leo's character is using was actually something that Leo wrote for his contribution to Guide to the Abandoned World, which is one of the supplement books you can pick up on the Kickstarter starting Tuesday, October 7th. Back to the game. But yeah, check it out. It's a really cool chapter. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going in the drain. We're draining.
Yeah, so walking down the drain, spear out, and yeah, hoping that this is just a totally chill, normal drain, and all those rumors were just whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
just whatever.
I'll
make
have my
shit up,
mace
yeah.
out as well.
Okay, so yeah, you know, Isolde, you've got your torch aloft, just kind of like barely overhead, really, as you're kind of like, you know, huddling through this storm drain. And you know, in the middle, you have Timaeus, who is kind of still trying to hold on to this piece of wood and knocking, just as she was instructed to. And you know, you start to crawl through. It's very dark. Otherwise, your standard storm drain. You got some slime mold on the walls. You got some fetid water, you know, like right at your knees, I'm assuming, something like that, depending on how you're crawling.
Checkmate, GM. I don't have knees.
Along your slugfoot skirt as you're slowly like inching through this thing.
Just here to say that some of those like sluggy like creatures sort of have taste buds on the.
Oh yeah.
So it's probably going to be a horribly unpleasant experience for you.
I suffer for the revolution.
I'll do anything for the revolution. But yeah, I mean, as you're kind of making your way down through this storm drain, it's quiet, right? The only sound that you can really hear is maybe some dripping of water from above you and the knocking of Timaeus's board. Eventually, after I'd say probably like, you know, a good 10 minutes of crawling, goes quite a bit. Maybe a little bit longer. I don't know, 15 minutes of crawling, something like that. You can see that the storm drain starts to get a little bit wider, and you can start to see a literal light at the end of the tunnel as it opens up. And we'll say, you know, as you're getting closer to the exit of the drain, you can hear hushed voices kind of excitedly discussing something. You can tell they're trying to keep quiet. But as soon as Timaeus kind of knocks again, they go completely silent. All these susurrations just go completely quiet. And you can hear the shuffle of feet kind of stomping around, getting into position, things like that. And it like from where you are, you can see that the kind of like very low, presumably candlelight beyond the tunnel mouth gets kind of blotted out and is now backlit or backlighting these figures who are standing in front of the tunnel, and you can see that they have like daggers and short swords drawn, kind of ready for you. But Timaeus knocks on her board once again. A couple of seconds pass, it's silent, and then somebody sheathes their dagger and then knocks with the same pattern on the stone wall of the storm drain. And these men who were blocking your path kind of move out of the way, and you emerge into what is indeed the prison beneath the keep of the citadel. It's a very long but narrow room. You're kind of like coming in from the south wall right now is where the storm drain kind of opens up into. All along the western wall to your right, there are cells that are currently sitting empty. And kind of further north into the room, you can see just barely see, lit by just some candles that are in alcoves around the room. You can see that there's just a shit ton of torture equipment. You've got like the rack, you've got some spiked chairs, you've got some irons and probes and other gross stuff. So yeah, I mean, you have found yourself in the prison, but you've also found yourself among, about 12 armed people. There are men, there are women, all kinds of folks who are down here. But the thing that definitely bonds them together, they are all battle worn. You can tell they're bruised, they're cut all over, and all of them are wearing the same kind of like rough homespun linens and woolen clothing as the folks that were in the bonfire earlier. And kind of, like I said, there's about 12 of these people. And from the back of this group, you hear an older woman kind of call out. She says, Timaeus, child, what are you doing here? And kind of like pushing her way through the crowd, you see Theodora, Timaeus's mother, and the archon of the commune. So she's the person who's been elected to lead them as they are leading the revolution, setting up the new commune of zealots here in Thessaloniki. And she rushes towards Timaeus and just grabs her, board and all. She's certainly stopped knocking at this point, but she's still holding the board. So they just like smush it together like a mother-daughter wood sandwich. I don't know. But they embrace, and after a few moments of like really holding her daughter tight, she kind of pulls away from her. Theodora pulls away from her and looks at the four of you with just like tears in her eyes, and immediately is like, who are you? Why did you bring my child to this death trap? What were you thinking?
You're welcome. Official Pilgrim business.
Zoe, you're supposed to be the face here.
I'm looking. Yeah, I think I look at Isolde. I'm like, right?
Your welcome was great. The girl was looking for you, and if we hadn't been with her, she would have joined the lot in front of the big doors.
Yeah. I think Timaeus would definitely reaffirm that, right? She'd turn to her mother and be like, "It's true. I was worried for you, and these pilgrims. I've never seen anybody fight demoniacs so well. I thought they might be helpful." And her mother just kind of, shakes her head and is like, "Oh, child, you should not have come here." And then turns to the four of you, says, "I assume that you know our situation here in Thessaloniki. We, the brave commune of zealots, the second commune, are attempting to win our freedom. We are attempting to win our rights and to be treated as people. That's all that we want. But the despot, Manuel II, just will not allow it. He treats us as though we were no better than slaves. He hoards food. He keeps us starving. He keeps us poor, all while we labor in the scant gardens and farms we have within the walls to provide what little can for ourselves and our children. But after today, it will be no more. We have him on the ropes. We know where he is, and it is only a matter of time before we break down his defenses." And she kind of looks each one of you in the eyes and just earnestly asks, "Will you join us? Will you help us overthrow this tyrant?"
Yes.
Well, hold on. There's a thing that we need.
I've 2 fine soldiers for the fight and a hermit. But we do need a favor in exchange.
What anything? What can I help you with? If you are as powerful fighters as my daughter says, if you're powerful warriors, then whatever we can do to help.
I hold up my little, I'm presuming that I'm holding it, but anyone else can be holding it as well. But I'm presuming that I'm holding the little writ of whatever it is.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Your mandate. Yeah.
Yeah. My mandate. We need the crash whore of Dionysus, love.
Oh, is that, I don't know what that is. Is it?
It's a relic.
It's a fancy cup.
Oh.
It's a relic. With
I
quintessence,
see.
and we need it.
I see. I understand. Yes. You are pilgrims after all. I can't believe I didn't think of that. But she says the treasury for Thessaloniki is in this building. It is down the hall from where we are right now. It is locked behind an extremely secure door. And we believe sorry, brain fire. We believe that the despot, that Manuel II, has the key on him. We know where the room is, but we just have not been able to get into there. But if you help us, I promise you, you will get the Crotter. We will happily give that to you. We can't give you all of our relics. We don't even know how many the city actually has. It's so rarely seen by anybody but the nobility. But whatever we have, we can share. And if we have this Crotter that you're looking for, it is yours. We only ask for our liberty.
Well, you don't need to be asking for it from us.
Though we will, of course, recommend to our bosses that you be formally recognized.
Fair enough. Vukan, Edmund, how'd you feel about killing a man?
Not doing the job.
I really thought there was going to be another step there. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're fine.
Sorry, are you supposed to feel things when I think Vukan has never really been asked that in so many sort of respects.
Last time I was in a peasants' revolt, it went really poorly. I have been looking forward to joining another one.
That's right. Why we always fight lots of battles in a row in this era, so that we can win. If you win, what does the saying go? If you sometimes win a thing and then sometimes you lose a thing, but there's a bigger thing. Anyway, let's to war.
The trick to winning a peasants' revolt is to never negotiate with the king.
There you go. I really appreciate this in the chat from Vex. Head empty, kill man. Thank you, Vex.
I would be emphatically recommending to someone, you get your rights, you want to keep them. Longbow in the hand of every boy as soon as he can walk. All of them.
Keep that for afterwards, and we can get the thing, and then you can start coaching them.
Let me teach you how to build a standing army.
Do you want to be ruling class?
Yeah. How would you like to?
Easy steps.
It's the peasant weapon. It's how we managed to fuck up the French repeatedly despite their better cavalry.
That's true.
It just works. It's the common man fucking up the nobility.
Was Edmund at Cressy at the big crushing defeat?
I don't know. I don't know how the timeline works with the war. Thinking about it right now, because the abandonment happened, and then some guys who struck it rich in France hold back a lot of quintessence. There was the human archer who conquered Bristol, who was my boss for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But especially in his side, because he was an archer who fought in France, who had been recruiting every guy he could get with a third arm, sometimes going, okay, listen, you got to die again because that arm is wimpy and we need it strong to go.
You got to get those numbers up.
Salary.
Yeah.
And then you get the higher salary.
You got to get those numbers up.
Really been drinking in all the stories about the supremacy of the English longbow since I was a tiny boy, because my dad was one of those as well. So that's where it comes from.
Very nice.
I'm gonna let Edmund keep going to this other guy. He's got a little circle around him now.
Yeah, people are just all of these revolutionary peasants are just wow, really? Tell us more. But I think Theodora is going to kind of give a little clap and say, all right, well, now that we have these mighty soldiers, these mighty warriors on our side, the time for indecision is over. We have to storm the rest of the keep. We have to we have to get up to the third floor where Manuel is. We know that he has a few guards, a few soldiers remaining, but after the battle outside, which I'm sure you saw the terrible aftermath of, we don't think that he has many left. We think that his reserves have almost run dry. So we are so close to victory. And I think, she's just going to start leading the charge to head upstairs. So right now you are in the basement level, and she would tell you all this, right? But you're in the basement level of the big square keep where those archers were on top of. You exit the kind of prison torture cells. To the west, there's kind of a doorway that leads to a narrow hallway, cuts around quite a ways west, and you do notice right before turning a corner to the right, going north, you do notice a doorway that has like a huge iron door that's been like reinforced several times over. And as you pass by, Theodora kind of like points with her head at it and says, "This is the treasury. We haven't been able to break into here at all, in spite of our best efforts." And you can see that like around around the hinges and around the lock, there's like very obvious like marks of tampering. Like somebody had a dagger and was trying to like pick the lock very poorly with it, things like that, trying to bust the door open. But yeah, she says, we haven't been able to get in, but again, I promise you, we will get you the Crotter. Whatever we can spare is yours. And she leads you upstairs. I do want to be mindful of time, so we're going to zoot this a little bit. But basically, you make your way upstairs. The keep is largely empty, right? There are when you kind of get to the first floor, you can see that the doors that are leading outside have been barricaded from the inside. There's like cabinets and pews and things like that have kind of been like pushed up against it, tables, chairs, all of that good stuff. So the front door has been reinforced, but otherwise the first floor is empty. Making your way up, again, you pass by the second floor, which has been turned into kind of like a makeshift kitchen. And I should say there's like vaulted stairs going all the way up the keep, but you can like see into each one of these chambers as you're going through. But yeah, so the second floor has been turned into kind of like a makeshift kitchen. You can see that there's like emergency stores of food, crates, barrels of food that have been kind of stockpiled here. If anybody wants to stop and search for something, we can do that really quickly, but otherwise we'll keep
just eating
going.
food. Eating food as a go. Still looking out professionally, but also with freehand eating a snack. But
yeah,
keep going.
Absolutely. I'll say for that, actually, if you want, you can. We'll say you can regain D3 grit for snacking.
Oh, sick! Love snacking.
Yeah,
that's a
I can definitely also snack and be mostly ready.
Great.
With the extra hand.
Yeah, anybody who wants to.
I have like no grit left, so I better also.
Oh shit!
I got set on fire.
I'm just gonna keep a lookout for an ambush. Is what I'll do.
Nice.
Is this recovering pool?
This is just going to be recovering grit, not pool.
Okay. I get one.
Okay.
Ooh. How low is your health?
I am now at a whopping 5 out of 14.
Okay, well, I happen to have a vital salve that I will pass off to you.
That's right. Somehow in all the chaos, I forgot that you had apothecary stuff.
I do. I was trying to go for the healer build, and instead I'm smashing skulls in. So, okay, the vital salve, that's 2d4 health?
Yeah, that should regain 2d4 health, yeah.
Yep.
Let me roll some things. Oh, recovering grit. Okay, yeah, I see. I forgot those are separate things.
Yeah. Okay,
2d4 health. All right, yeah, I now have 10 health.
There you go.
That should at least be enough to hopefully not get immediately one-shotted.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. All right, cool. So yeah, we all, everybody has a snack, feeling good, getting ready. And yeah, you make your way up one more flight of stairs, and you find yourself on the landing of the third floor of the keep. Again, there's not like a door, but there's a doorway, right? There's kind of a portal leading into this area, which again has been barricaded from the inside. So there's kind of like a low barricade. And you can see, as you're kind of coming up, if you poke your head around the corner of the stairwell, trying to look into this chamber, you can hear a much older man kind of blustering and trying to give out orders. And his voice is like shaking, right? You can tell that he is worried, but he's trying to like sound brave. And he's like, you there, yes. Yes, pile up those chairs by the doorway. We can't let these peasants into my chambers. And you hear like the shuffling of feet and things like that, and you see like very clearly like a guard again wearing like a chain hauberk and maybe like an iron skull cap who is like stacking things up in the doorway, doing his best to create a barricade. And I'm gonna see if he notices y'all. Oh, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't. He doesn't. He's dummy.
There's like 12 of us, my guy.
Yeah, I know.
Is the oblivious guy not within line of sight of other guys? Because that might be a good opportunity to just pick him off immediately. I don't even have to get close.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only person that you can see. You can hear more people moving around in the room, so there's certainly more people in there, but you're not sure how many. He would definitely be in line of sight of anybody who's in the room. But I would say, yeah, from where you are, it's a narrow stairwell, right? So it's not like all 12 people are like rushing up kind of in a group or anything like that. But I would say, yeah, maybe from where you are, you can get a clean beat on him, clean line of sight.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we could try to draw him a little bit out. Because then we kill him without the other guys looking, and we go in before anybody can really, block the door with their body. Like just drop a pebble somewhere so that he takes a moment and goes check it out, and then several people can try something.
I mean, we've got a bunch of people in a narrow staircase. I think if we make any noise, he's just gonna see us. Like there's not a lot of places to look.
Yeah, and he's like actively barricading himself and the others who are in the room, right? Yeah, so you probably don't get a sense that he would come out. But yeah, I mean, if you want to try to
I'm down
pop
for
him.
a long shot. Yeah.
I got several modifiers like archery training, then archery mastery, then it's my highest stat, so that's going to go well. I have a +3. I'm going to dump another 3 on it.
Go for it.
Okay. 11, 14.
Okay. I mean, you definitely hit him. I'm not going to roll to dodge. This guy is distracted. He's like doing a job, right? And he didn't notice y'all coming in. So I'd say like, he's turning around. He's like turning himself to like respond to an order that he was just given. He's like, yes, sir. And then the arrow just hits him straight out. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yeah, it's a good fucking number, man. 16, 20. I kind of have to elbow people out of the way just so that I can get the bow in position. Like, move. All 2 arms. I end up elbowing somebody in the process of drawing the arrow. Let loose. The guy flies from the impact of the thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was gonna. Yeah, there's no. I mean, he absolutely dies from this. So yeah, you just put him down. So like, yeah, you imagine like the arrow just hits him and he just like he's on a wire or something and just gets like thrown across the room. 20 artillery shells worth of arrow.
Yeah, good shot.
The longbow is really fun, guys. Just get the extra arm.
Yeah. You're telling this to all the peasants that are in the stairwell with you, and they're just
to the people listening. Like the bow exists in the world. Assume an Englishman brought one to wherever you are.
That's fantastic. I mean, I think with that, like, yeah, that guy just drops like a fly, right? And you hear the voices of a couple of other men start to shout out, and maybe it's something like, "Egads, we've been caught, we've been found," something like that. I don't know. And certainly, like, yeah, you hear again this older voice who's like, "Oh no, they've come for me. We must do away with them. Kill them all. Kill them." And yeah, like there's some shuffling happening beyond this pretty poor barricade, really. But I'd say, there's like a second as they're trying to position themselves, trying to figure out what's happening. They just watch their friend fly across the room with an arrow in his neck. What would the 4 of you like to do? And remember, you've got like a dozen of these zealots who are kind of behind you. We'll say y'all are in front, they're bringing up the rear.
I'm immediately launching into a morale boosting speech
Let's
and
go.
urging him to charge. When Adam delved and Eve span, who was then the gentleman?
Yes.
I don't know if there's any kind of bard mechanic here, but I do have a bonus to charming peasantry due to my advanced power of humility.
I love that. There are some like bard adjacent powers for sure. There's one called Insenhemon, as well as a few other that are like based off of troubadour kind of stuff. I think for this one, I'll have you roll fervor, which I'm realizing is probably one of the first fervor checks of this session. But I'll have you roll fervor, and I'd say, you can definitely take the +1 on that roll. And yeah, I think, if you can break a 6 on this, then it's these people are going to be pumped up.
Hold on. My fervor is a D8. 7.
Nice. Yeah, no, your speech, like, you can see these battle worn peasants who are exhausted, right? They've been fighting for days now. They're at their very wits' end. Some of them have gone without sleep, without food, all of that stuff. But you can just see like the light turn back on in their eyes, and something about your speech, it just makes them realize like, this is it. If we can do this, we win. We actually take power in this city. And maybe nobody knows what will happen after that, but at least for now, like we can win this struggle. And I think it's so successful that they just start rushing past the four of you. They're like, all right, thanks for your help. And they just like bust in the room. They kick down the barricade. And the tables and chairs and things that this barricade is made out of just scatter across the floor under the press of these bodies. And they just bust into the chamber. You can hear Manuel II, the despot, just going, oh no, they've arrived. What do we do? He's just like freaking out, pulling his hair, all that good stuff. And I would say there are 5 Thessaloniki guards that are left over here. And each one of them is protecting the despot. They're protecting Manuel II, but they are locked in combat with all of these peasants who have been inspired by by Ioannis's speech. So they've gotten their fire back. They've completely locked up all of these guards. And you can see that, if you enter the chamber, you can see that Manuel II, the despot of Thessaloniki, is cowering in a corner. And he's trying to like direct the guards and be like, that one, kill that one, get them out of here. But like the guards are being overwhelmed by these peasants who have been able to break in here.
Can I pivot a bit and see if I can also talk some of the guards into changing sides? I assume they're not wealthy either.
Yeah, I would say go for it. I don't think you would get the bonus for this one. But yeah, if you want to do another fervor check, you can try to charm them into switching sides. No, 3.
I only got a 3.
you start doing the same speech again, and the guards are just like being murdered, so they're like, I don't care, dude.
Worth a shot.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This is the scene that is happening before you. Manuel II is cowering in a corner, maybe behind like his desk or something like that. The guards are being overwhelmed and subdued by the peasants. What would the 4 of you like to do in this moment?
Well, if we don't end this well for them, we're not getting out of here or out of the city alive. So I say we finish the job, get the key, and get to the treasury before they do.
Yeah.
Do we have any reason not to like kill the big boss immediately? Because sure, the peasants don't have ranged options. We do. There's a sling and there's me.
Yeah, I mean, one reason not to kill him is that he is the pseudo emperor of Constantinople's brother. Um, so, he's certainly lost this city, right? Like, that's indisputable. But maybe if you can convince the peasants to let him live and take him back with you to Constantinople, like promise that he'll never be back or something like that. I don't know. There could be a reward in it for you for saving the emperor's brother. Historically, in real history, they didn't really get along very well at all, but you never know.
I think it depends on how well we spin the fact that we also came in with the people we saved him from.
Yeah,
That's why I say we just finish it.
I don't think any of these people is going to be like, and I'm sure I can make a pretty penny by saying it was the archer or it was the slug guy. I think they're going to be like, done.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the peasants are pretty thankful, even just for the rousing speech and the scant assistance. I think they're still, y'all are cool.
Yeah, if we can prevent more peasants from dying, that's brownie points.
Yeah, I think I just weighed in to what Isolde said, and just am going to try to grab the key physically, like manhandle, like grappling, like not. I don't want to get hurt myself, but I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm just trying to get the key off the despot, and I'm pretty fast and strong. So like I just am throwing, like, whether they are protecting the despot or trying to kill the despot, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to get to the despot. It's like flag football and grab that key.
Yeah.
Which everyone played in Byzantine Greece.
Yeah,
huge
the famous Byzantine
Hey, the Nika
Empire
riots
sport.
were a big deal.
It's true. Yeah, the Nika riots were a huge deal. The
Flag
Blues
chariots.
Flag chariot
Yeah.
football. I would pay to see that. That would be really dope. Flag chariot football.
The earliest polo that's ever existed.
Yeah. Wythe, I would say, you don't even need to roll for this, right? Like, this guy is cowering in a corner.
Polo is
you can
actually
see,
quite
like,
an old game, I think.
Polo is?
Oh yeah, it's like maybe ancient Persian or something. I did roll finesse just to see, and I got a 10.
Oh, great.
So if you needed it, I got a 10 on finesse to try to just steal a thing.
Yeah, either way. No, yeah, you lift it off. You could see that, like, he's wearing like a large kind of belt pouch. Like I said, he's cowering in the corner. He doesn't even really resist. Like, as you come up to him, he like puts his hands up and it's like, "Oh, spare me, oh Lord." And you can just like snatch the pouch off of him, and like quickly rifling through, you find his seal for one thing, so that's fun for hijinks in the future. But yeah, you find his seal, as well as like a small pouch of gold coinage that we'll say is worth about like 130 SP worth of gold. So not a ton of gold, but good amount of gold. And then also, there's a large key ring that has 4 or 5 different keys on them. None of them are particularly ornate or anything like that, but I think you can assume that the big iron one probably goes to the big iron door downstairs.
Just got the keys and walking back and hoping that by only taking the keys and the gold, of course, and just leaving him otherwise alone, the peasants will like sort it out among themselves, whatever they were going to do.
I do think we should try and keep the peasants from being killed. So y'all want to? I'm gonna sling the guards if y'all want to get in on that.
I mean, I will say the guards are not putting up a fight at this point. They're completely overwhelmed, and much like the peasants, they were also very tired, very worn out by this whole affair. But they didn't get a rousing speech from you, so they don't have the will to fight back. But if you want to sling a guard, go for it. I mean, you could just pop one in the head.
Just why not?
Just for funsies.
I got an 11 to hit.
Yeah, roll damage. Like, as y'all are walking out of the room, you're just like, peace, sling.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm gonna
13 damage, by the way.
It's a good thing everybody has such low health in this game, because you're just knocking them out left and right. Yeah. No,
this military sling, I think, is a bit overpowered. I've got a high insight, and it's just it's a lot of dice, actually.
It's good stuff. I like the high power damage output. I think it's fun. But no. One of the guards who is like still barely holding back when he's like holding a halberd, right? But it's just like there's like 4 peasants that are pushing against the halberd, so he's like kind of barely holding himself up, and then just out of thin air for him, just dunk, just straight into the forehead. He gets a lead sling bullet, and it just knocks him out cold. Just falls back completely limp, hitting the ground. And then the peasants jump in and start trying to like take his armor and his gear off of him.
I'm gonna just pat Theodora on the shoulder and say, "Right, good crack. See you later," and then go and follow Vukan down to the.
Yeah. I love this way of putting a button on it where it's like, all right, well, they did their thing. Now we're just gonna do our thing. All right, so
deal's a deal, baby.
Yeah, deal's a deal. No, yeah, I think Theodora would give you like kind of a knowing nod, and she's like, yeah, you'll need plausible deniability, so don't worry about it. You can head on out of here, do what you need to do. So yeah, we'll wrap it up from here. We're running a little bit over. Thanks for sticking with it, everybody. But at this point, you make your way back down to the basement. You are able to open this large reinforced iron door, and it leads into the treasury of Thessaloniki. It's a little bit bare. It's a little old Mother Hubbard cupboard situation going on. There's not a lot of like stacks of gold and things like that you would expect in a treasury. However, you do see kind of front and center when you walk in, displayed on a table, is the crater of Dionysus. It is a very large crater. It is about 3 feet high. It is made out of hammered bronze with these kind of cast bronze sculptural elements that have been fused onto it, kind of welded onto it. These incredibly beautiful, like detailed satyrs and fauns who are like kind of drinking and playing and jumping around in a frieze all over the crater. And even as you like kind of approach it, each one of you, especially if you have more than one maleficia, you are almost overcome with the amount of quintessence that this thing holds. And even just looking at it, you can tell like this took hundreds of hours to complete. It's a beautiful object that took a lot of time and labor to make, and that is reflected in just like how much like ambient quintessence is just pouring out of this thing that you can like feel like sending shivers up your spine as you get close to it. I'm also going to have everybody roll a d20 for me to see what other relics you find.
I got a 5.
I got a 2.
Nice.
I got a
13.
9.
Okay, sweet. So, Zoe, Isolde, digging around in all the junk in here, Isolde is able to find a. I guess you wouldn't know what it is. Isolde wouldn't know what it is, but she finds a 5-inch wide circular bronze ornament that features geometric lattice work across its face. It has flowering buds and horn-like projections that adorn its outer walls. I think that's just looking at it, that's what you would see. But you have found a bronze sun disk, which has been dug up and in the treasury. Yeah. But again, just like the crater, you can feel that there is quintessence kind of emanating from this object. Let's see. Who rolled a 2?
I did.
Nice. Okay, Mac, you find a 2-foot tall carved stone, which is carved to look like a man who is he's got like a mustache. He's either holding a bowl or a cup at his navel. It looks kind of like a headstone, about the same rough size and shape, but it's very sculptural. And I would say coming from this object, there's like a sense of protection that you get a feeling for as you kind of like pick it up. It's very heavy, but as you kind of like pick it up and observe it, you get a sense that like you are protected when you're near this object.
I will then put it back into place because I don't want to steal from the Archon.
Nice. All right, who got a 9? Was that was you, Wythe? All right, so Wythe, you are able to find, digging around, you find a large mosaic icon. It's about like 3 feet tall, 2 feet wide. It's set in a wooden and steel frame depicting the Virgin Mary holding an infant Christ with their cheeks pressed together in a symbol of intimate protection. This is an icon of the Virgin Glycophilusa, which is protection stuff. And yeah, you also feel, coming from this mosaic icon that's been like meticulously put together, you also feel a sense of safety and like you yourself are being held when you are near this object.
Cool. I hug my new painting, my new 2-dimensional mother, and try to protect her with the shield, and then back out like as if no one could see me holding this obvious painting.
Wire mother, cloth mother, mosaic mother.
Mosaic mother. And then Leo, Edmund is able to find a. I mean, your character would know what this is. It's a Nazar amulet. So you know those blue evil eye kind of amulets and jewelry kind of stuff. It's basically one of those, but it's a carved eye fashioned out of lapis lazuli and set within a gold frame that can be worn on a cord or a chain around the neck. And it's believed that these ward off evil spirits or bad spirits and the evil eye. You get a sense that... what do you get a sense for? You get a sense that your enemies will be less likely to find you if you are wearing this object.
Importantly, it is pocketable. I am not wearing it as much as just shoving it in a pocket, because the arrow that martyred the saint is the one that's supposed to be up here. Because as much as this is cool, this is really fucking magically lucky, man. I know it. The guy who lost this to me at cards told me it's magic as fuck.
Magic as fuck. MAF. That's awesome. All right, but yeah, there you go. You the revolution has succeeded. The second commune of the Zealots has successfully taken over the government of Thessaloniki. I'm sure that they are well on their way to implementing procedures to institute a social republican government, seizing and redistributing all of the wealth of the now driven out aristocracy. Who knows what happened to Manuel II, the despot of Thessaloniki? Maybe we'll find out some other time. But with that, you have retrieved the Crater of Dionysus. And yeah, you can start making your long way back to Constantinople. I will say, just as like a little end thing, the peasants will give you a cart. Like they'll, like, especially for you, Mac, they'll give you a cart. You can get back to Constantinople that way.
Yeah, by way of epilogue, I'm actually going to try and pitch that, you know, this is an unstable kind of situation. Why don't I stay here just to make sure that like the choir's interests are being like appropriately represented in this newly forming situation? I'm not, you know, officially defecting. I'm
Yeah.
here for a reason, but you know,
Yeah.
you can go on without me. I'm just slowing you down.
You're on Cantica business. No, I love that. I think that's great. So yeah, you have now moved to. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. Yeah, you're moving to Thessaloniki. You're going to stick around with the commune. You know, protect the Canticum's interests. Big air quotes for those listening on the podcast. And yeah, I guess we'll have to find out what happens to the city of Thessaloniki next time. But that's all I've got for y'all tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for playing. Thanks so much for aiding
Thanks for having us.
the commune of zealots. Appreciate you all.
Golf clap for zealots.
Yeah.
Everyone check it out. Next week, next Sunday, same time, same place, same stream. We're going to be streaming with some other streamers, some AP actors, and I'm going to be running a game set in Paris at the same time, so 1390, but 1,000 kilometers west of where we were today, and we'll find out what some other pilgrims are up to underground in the old gypsum mines, the old sewers, beneath Paris,
old limestone
the old
vaults,
limestone quarries. Yeah, and then a week after that, Chris will be back GMing with Twice Rolled Tales, some wonderful AP friends, another story. In another location, and so on and so forth. So please tune in, and if you enjoyed the game or think you might have an idea for a cool medieval story, check us out. It's going to be kickstarting very, very soon, just a couple days from now. And everyone check out the Maniculum podcast and the wonderful game design and writing of Leonardo Andrade. So we will put various links in the chat and such. But thank you again so much, Zoe, Mac, and Leo, for your time.
Thanks for
always
playing,
good to
y'all.
play games
Thank
with you.
you guys. This was a
Too
delight.
fast. All right, thanks, y'all. I'm gonna end the stream if we're all cool with that. Have a
Alrighty.
wonderful night.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.